Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anastasia here with another Teen Mom 2 recap. So this episode starts off with Leah, but more importantly, Addie. Her lymph nodes are still swollen, so Leah is worried, and is going with her and Jeremy to the doctor tomorrow. She's worried that she might go through something serious again like she did with Allie. Kale goes out to eat. Apparently Chris is more involved than I thought, at least with the kids. He talks on the phone to Isaac and Lincoln, and even she doesn't know about what. Probably video games. Even Lincoln says Chris just relaxes and plays Fortnite all day like a 15-year-old, although Kale was quick to defend him on that aspect. Kale's friend tells her that she should be by herself for a while, but Kale claims that even when she was with Chris, she was really all alone and by herself. Congratulations, Kale, that's the closest we're ever going to get to her admitting that her and Chris were never officially together. She says that she was the common denominator in her many failed relationships. She says that Joe and V make it work, all her exes, Javi and Lauren make it work. Yeah, about that one though. Briana has her boyfriend John listed as A-Rod on her phone. Okay, Briana, I guess love really is blind. But not blind enough to not see the kill yourself DMs that John supposedly sent another woman after she told him that she was pregnant with his child. Someone sent these screenshots to Briana and she isn't sure if they're fake or not. John and her were supposed to go on vacation to the Dominican Republic, but instead of chilling on the beach, he now gets to experience the joy of a Briana confrontation. Honestly, if you read the DMs, they're so overly dramatic, like something you'd see on a soap opera. So save it, John! And then she accuses him of wanting fame. I don't know, every time we see him on camera, he looks incredibly uncomfortable, and I don't think that's just because he's close enough to smell Briana. I searched up a website to fake Instagram DMs, and this took all of 5 minutes. So, I don't know, man, it's kinda sketchy. It's Aubrey's last day of school, so they go to the trusty Froyo place to celebrate. Is Froyo really still that much of a thing? Or are they just more willing to let MTV film there to drum up business since their loss of relevance 5 years ago? Who knows? Watson drops some Froyo treats down his jacket and picks them right back up and eats it out of his jacket. Much like me when I drop M&Ms down my shirt. Jade and Sean are fighting again, this time over daycare money. Sean says she never understands what he's trying to tell her, and that's why he doesn't want to talk to her. She asks, okay, what do you want to talk to me about? That I don't want to talk to you, he says. It's like a catch-22, or maybe just druggy reasoning. Jade wants to see how it goes. She doesn't want to do this for months and months more. Maybe she shouldn't have signed that months and months long lease. Lincoln has a kid track meet. Javi and Chris are both there, and they manage to not fight, interact, or bang Kale. Later, Chris decides he doesn't want Lux filming, which is probably just a control thing. We all remember Kale freaking out when Javi didn't want Lincoln filming. But when it comes to her twin flame, soulmate, forever one Chris, she just says, meh, this is a battle that I'm not choosing. But she's still sneaky with it. She'll hand over the kid if Chris knows that they're filming, but if he's not aware they're filming, what he won't know won't hurt him, right? Unless she offers him a snack, drugs him, and then ties him up in her basement, which I'm sure she's been planning for quite a while now if she can only get him to eat some of the food she offers him. Jeremy and Leah go to the appointment. Addie seems to feed off her mom's paranoid energy and gets super nervous and starts crying. Jeremy asks why she's crying, and Addie says it's because she doesn't want a shot, and Mommy said she was gonna get a shot. That don't mean nothing, Jeremy says, and takes her out of the car, knowing that Leah's words and vows don't hold much weight. John denied everything, but Briana is still unsure. She goes to a microblading class, just as some extra backup income if she ever gets kicked off Teen Mom 2, and then talks to him. Apparently she went off on him over text about it, accusing him and believing every word of the DMs. His response was mostly confusion, saying that it's not him, and they may never know because the girl who sent the screenshots deleted her account shortly after, which by the way was called Lovely Mental Case, fittingly enough. Although this profile does show that she lives in the same state as John, she's Dominican like him, supposedly, so I don't know. Briana's still guarded, but they're apparently still going on vacation together. Watch your drinks, John. Jade eats with her friend and vents about Sean. She already puts so much time and energy into this relationship, she says, she doesn't want to leave it. Sunk cost fallacy, Jade. Let it go. At some point, she gets frustrated and goes out for a smoke. She's sick of everyone giving advice to her and insists that there's more to the situation than anyone else sees. Wait, guys. I think I'm starting to see what she's talking about. Watson picked up something that Chelsea's friend's kid Willow dropped, and it really looks like a piece of actual shit, a la Nova actually picking up poop and handing it to Kate and Tyler in an earlier Team Emoji episode. But we don't see Chelsea huffing and puffing about not wanting that filmed, so maybe not. Kale's boys want to hang out with Chris. Kale's probably jealous. She wants to hang out with Chris too. She tries to take Lincoln away from the fun soccer game or whatever they're playing to get his passport photo taken, but he wants to stay with Chris, so she lets him. And then she actually says, for the love of Chris, guys! Like this guy is God or something? Well, I guess he is to her, but Then she says, why do my kids have to love Chris so much? Why do you love Chris so much? They're only copying you, believe me. The doctor basically told Leah that she was being a hypochondriac and Addie just had swollen lymph nodes from the mono she had a couple of months ago. Then Leah's all, see Addie, there was no reason to be nervous. Like you weren't the one WebMD diagnosing her, Leah? Leah asked Addie what they did at the doctor's and she says she pulled down her pants. No, Addie, she asked what you did, not what her and Jeremy were gonna do after she dumped you off at school. Leah then holds her fist out to Jeremy and says, we're good, pound it. He already did. Many times. John meets up with Briana in New York. She starts crying and she knows the DMs were fake, but some part of her still is hurt by it and believes it. John says he doesn't speak like what was shown in the messages. I don't think anyone does outside of novellas. He says they have to build more trust so she isn't fooled by such things. Overall, he's very calm as usual, not freaking out. Can't really tell by his demeanor if he's lying or not. Aubrey has a softball game. Adam apparently shows up after it already ends, at least that's what they made it look like, with of course a gallon of water in his hand. Gotta stay hydrated, bro. Chelsea complains that she's uncomfortable, even with him 50 feet away and not talking to her, but she allows Aubrey to hug him and then come back. After just 3 days in Jade's supposedly magical happy house, surprise and surprise, for some reason Jade and Sean are still fighting. Jade decides to go to her cousin's house for a bit. Don't know why she's the one leaving the house instead of Sean, and she leaves her child there with the likely drug addict. Chloe is playing on a toy, oblivious to this whole mess, and Jade yanks her off it to say bye to her. And obviously, I don't know why she's surprised, the kid is annoyed and runs off to keep playing with the toy, wanting no part of this drama. Jade cries because she feels like both Sean and her kid don't want her and don't even care that she's leaving. And that's all for this episode of Teen Mom 2. Do you think Sean is on drugs? Do you think Jade is on drugs? Do you think those DMs were real? Is Kailyn encouraging a relationship with her kids and Chris so she gets to see Chris more? And is that a healthy thing to do when you know that Chris might not be around later? Make sure to leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe for Teen Mom recaps every week, including recaps for Young and Pregnant, which was just announced to be coming back on October 22. Thank you, MTV!